In this video, I will show you how to make a beautiful cup like this. To make our cup, we will first have to make a part. To make a part, I will go to this top menu and click on this new icon. And here I can choose part, assembly, and drawings. So I'll choose part and click OK. Now here on the features top menu, I will choose revolved boss and I'll sketch on this front plane. And here I'll make a center line that is vertical. So this icon shows that this line is a vertical. So this line represents the height of this cup. So I'll give it 200 millimeters. And its top width will be 100 millimeters. So this line, which is at the top here, represents the top width of this cup. So, and this is the bottom width of this cup, represented by this line, and I will give it a dimension of 50 millimeters. And we can see that this bottom line equals half of this top line in length. So if I want to make a relationship between them, all I have to do is just type equals and choose the dimension that I want to make a relationship with and multiply it by half in this case, and I'll choose OK or click on OK. Now we can see that this icon shows that this dimension is represented by an equation. So if I want to change this to be 200 millimeters, we can see that this dimension updates as well according to the upper dimension. So I'll bring it back to be 100 millimeters. And now I will draw a spline starting from this point to this point. And I will right click and click on select to exit. So if I click on this spline, we can see that we have two arrows and two diamonds. So the arrows are used to stretch the spline from this point, and the diamonds are used to rotate this spline. So if I drag it, we can see that it's being stretched, and if I rotate it, we can see it's being rotated. You can do the same thing from this point. You can drag and rotate the spline from that point. So I'll go back, and to constrain the spline according to 2 points, these 2 points, I'll bring it back as it was actually. And to do that, I will to constrain this spline, I will draw a line here that is a center line, and I'll make another one here. So I will make a relationship between this line and this spline at this portion. So I'll go to the display delete relations and choose add relation. So first I'll click on this line and this spline, and I will choose tangent. I'll click on OK. Now I will give this line a dimension. This dimension is an angle. So this angle will start from here to here, and I'll give it 40 degrees. And we can see that the spline now is constrained according to this angle and this portion of it. Now if I change this angle to be 50 degrees, we can see that the spline tangency angle has been changed at that part of the spline. I'll bring it back to be 40 degrees. Now I'll do the same thing, but at this point, the upper point actually, and I'll make a relation between this spline and this vertical line, and I'll make a tangent. Now we can see that we have constrained this spline, and this spline will represent the cross-section of this cup. So now to complete this cross-section of this cup, I'll make another line here connecting these 2 points, and now I'll make an offset, and I'll click on this line and spline, and we can see that we have a thickness of 10 millimeters. Here we can say how much of distance that represent this offset. So here 10 millimeters is okay. If you see that this cap end is not selected, so you have to select it, and here I'll choose arcs, so it will give this cross section a nice shape. I'll click OK here. Now we can see that we have this beautiful cross section, but this portion of this cross section I want to get rid of, and I want to make a line here connecting these 2 points, and I will trim this portion using the trim tool, and I'll click OK. Now our cross section is ready for this cup. All I have to do is just exit the sketch, and you can see that we will go directly to the revolve configuration section. Here I can choose the axis of revolution, so I'll choose this one, and this is the rotation or revolution angle. So if you decrease it, we can see that this cup will not be closed. So to close it, I will type 360 degrees, and here I will choose the selected contours. I'll choose our sketch, which represents the cross section, and I will click OK. Now we can see that we have the body of this cup, or the first part. Now I will add a fillet here at the bottom of this cup to give it a nice shape, and the radius of this fillet will be 10 millimeters. I'll click OK. Now if I want to view it, I will go to this view orientation and click on it, and I'll choose this trimetic option, and we can see that the first part of our cup is ready. Now we will move to the next part, which is the handle. Now I'll make the handle, and to make the handle I'm going to sketch on this front plane, and to sketch on it I'm going to right click and choose this sketch option, and here I'm going to choose to use hidden lines removed, and I'm going to sketch a center line here. We'll start from the bottom of this cup to this point, and here I'm going to choose 2 points, one here and another one here. So I'm going to give them dimensions. So here it will be 40 millimeters. Here it will be let's say 70 millimeters. And now I'm going to sketch a spline that contains 3 points. And we can see that this portion of this curve has let's say a sharp angle. So to control it, I'm gonna do the same thing. As we did with the cup body. So I'm gonna give it some constraints. So here I'm gonna give it a relation to be tangent, and I'm gonna give this line an orientation, and this will be 40 degrees. You can see that it is Let's make it 30. Now it looks good. Can control this distance. Gonna increase it a little bit, and I'm gonna increase it furthermore. Can see we have a good shape, but here we can see that it's not that horizontal, but so now it looks okay. We can control this upper portion as well, but since it's 3 points, we need 3 lines, and instead we can use this point to control the upper portion of this handle. And since it's an ergonomic shape, so you can, adjust this point position and rotation to your liking. And now I'm going to exit the sketch since I can see that it is good, and since it looks good, and I can modify this distance a little bit. I'm going to make it 80. Now I'm going to make a reference planes. So these reference planes will help me to make profiles. So the first one will be here, and this is the first reference, and the next reference will be the sketch. So the next plane will be here, and I'm gonna remove this reference. I'm gonna add a sketch, and I'm gonna add a third one. So for the third one, I'm gonna use a point which is located here along this sketch. I can control the distance from here to where the point is located. So I'm gonna locate it, let's say 140 degrees. Gonna click OK. Now I'm gonna add the reference, which is this plane and this sketch. So it selected the sketch, but I couldn't select the point, so I will go to this menu and choose the point. Now I'm gonna add another plane at this point, and I'm gonna choose this spline as its other reference. So now we have four planes. So I'm gonna hide some of them. So I'm gonna hide 2, 3, and 4, and I'm gonna choose hide. So first I'm gonna sketch on this plane, and I'm gonna sketch a rectangle. So I'm gonna give it some dimensions. So let's say 60 millimeters in width and 10 millimeters in height. Let's make this 80 millimeters. And this is looking bigger than it should be, so I'm gonna make it 60. I'm gonna add the relation between this bottom center point of this rectangle and this reference point. Gonna delete this. I'm gonna make it coincident. Click OK. Now the sketch is ready. Gonna hide this plane, and I'm gonna show this plane and sketch on it. So I'm gonna make another rectangle, and I'm gonna give it some dimensions. So here's gonna be let's say 50 millimeters in width and 10 millimeters in height. And I'm gonna add the relation. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, see this middle point, and I'm gonna just delete that sketch. and this reference I'm gonna make it coincident. Click OK. Now our next sketch, or the second sketch, is ready. So I'm gonna hide this plane and I'm gonna sketch on this third plane. I'm gonna sketch a rectangle, give it some dimensions. So this one's gonna be 40 millimeters in height and 10 millimeters in width. I'm gonna give it some relations. So to visualize this a little bit better, so I have to rotate it. Now I'm gonna choose this center point, which is here, and this point. So first I have to delete the sketch. So here I'm gonna go to this point and choose it and choose coincident, and this is looking good, and I'm gonna exit the sketch. We can see that this will rotate like this from here to here to here. I'm gonna sketch on the last plane, which is this one. So I'm gonna show it and I'm gonna sketch on it. So to sketch on it, I'm gonna right click, make another rectangle, give it some dimensions. So here, let's say 30, and this is the width of it and the height of 10 millimeters. Gonna give it some a relation between this upper middle point of this rectangle and this center point. Gonna make it coincident. Click OK, and I'm gonna exit the sketch. Now our profiles now are ready, so I'm gonna hide this plane to better see the sketch. I'm gonna make our loft. So for the guide curve, I'm gonna choose this sketch, and for the profiles, I'm gonna choose those sketches that I have done. So I'm gonna choose this one. I'm gonna adjust it a little bit, and this point as well. And I'm gonna choose this last sketch. Now it looks okay, but the guide curve has to be selected. Okay, it looks good. Gonna exit. Now I'm gonna go back to our view. Now we can see that we have a good shape of this handle, and we can see that it's closer to the body of this cup. We can adjust that, and I'm gonna go to this sketch of this guide curve. Gonna adjust this a little bit, so it's gonna be 85. I'm gonna rebuild, and here I'm gonna adjust this point as well to be, let's say, 70. Now we can see that we have controlled the way it looks. Now to get rid of this portion, so to do that, I'm gonna go to the first. I'm gonna edit this a little bit to be, let's say, 65, and I'm gonna rebuild. Oh, it looks good right now. So to get rid of those portions, so I'm gonna go to this top menu and I'm gonna go to Insert, where is it, and Features, and go to Split. And here we have Trim Tools. So what's the usually it's surfaces. They are surfaces. So I'm gonna choose the outer surface of this cup and I'm going to choose cut parts. So we can see that we have some parts to get rid of. So I'm going to choose body number 2, and here I'm going to go to consume bodies. I'm going to check on that. If it's not checked, you have to check it and click OK. Now we can see we have got rid of this cup, which is not the result that we want. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to insert and go to features. I'm going to go to split. So trimming tools will be, let's say the inner surface of this cup. I'm going to choose cut. And we can see 3 bodies. The body of the cup, this extra portion of this handle, and the other extra portion of the handle, which is located down here. And I'm going to get rid of this number 2 and number 1, and I'm going to leave number 3 and gonna click OK. Now we can see that we have a better result for this cup. Now I'm going to go back to our view, and now it's looking good. So now we're going to add some colors to this cup to make it look good. So first I'm going to go to this appearances and scenes, and I'm going to go to plastic and high gloss. So I'm going to choose first the black high gloss plastic, and I'm going to drag it, and I'm going to choose this face. You can choose revolve number 1, which will choose the revolve that we have done, and we can choose the body or the whole part. So I'm going to choose this face, the outer face of this cup, and now I'm going to choose for the inner face of this cup this let's say green high gloss plastic, and for this top part of this cup I'm going to choose the same thing, and for the handle it's going to be black. Where is the black one? This is the one. And choose the body, and for this one we can choose, for example, if we want, I'm going to choose this green color. I'm going to go back to our previous view, and we can see that we have this good colors for this cup. We can add some touches to this handle. So I'm gonna sketch on this top plane, and I'm gonna make another plane actually. So we have the first reference is this top plane, and I'm gonna increase the distance to cover the whole handle. Now it looks good. Now I'm gonna sketch on it. I'm gonna go to this view, which is hidden lines removed. So I'm gonna make a rectangle here. So I'm gonna give it some dimensions. So here I'm gonna give it, let's say 40 millimeters, and the height of, let's say 10 millimeters. And here I'm gonna make a center line. Let's put it from here, and it's gonna be horizontal. Now I'm gonna make a relation between this point and this line, and it's gonna be coincident. I'm gonna click OK. Now if I drag it, you can see that it's being dragged along this line. If I want to see the hidden lines, I can go to this option, which is hidden lines visible. So we can see that we are in the correct position. So I'm going to drag it a little bit to be here. And now I'm going to exit the sketch, and I'm going to go to extruded cut, and I'm going to choose through all. So this will go through all the handle body, and we can see that. So I'm going to hide this plane, and I'm going to go. You can see that we have made a nice touch to this handle. As you can see here, goes through all this cut goes through all the handle. Now I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.